Well, it is unfortunate that little attention is focused on the other people in the food and beverage industry who work just as hard to ensure that your dining experience is absolutely perfect.
But today, we're shining the spotlight on the restaurant manager of a super hot restaurant. He's Lyon Leong, and he is the restaurant manager of Burnt Ends. It's a modern Australian-style barbecue restaurant. And what really stands out about this restaurant is its open concept kitchen, which boasts an array of heavy-duty wood-fired ovens and grills where food can be smoked, roasted, or even cooked directly on coals to 700 degrees Celsius.
Experience. Leon, thanks very much for joining us this morning. Tell us how you first got involved in the F&B business.
I started off my F&B career when I just got officially released from army duties. It sparked me as something that I would like to do, and really like to put up the show to give people what I have, and I enjoy doing that, interacting and all. So started off as a waiter in karaoke, and I got my first hotel job at Marina Bay Sands as they started opening. And I went in to get into all-day dining and slowly branched into fine dining. And after that, I'm here at Burnt Ends right now.
How long have you worked at Burnt Ends?
I've been at Burnt Ends for almost 4 years right now. Yeah, started out in 2016, I guess. Yeah.
And what is it like working in such a restaurant?
At the start, it's not easy because the restaurant it's really different from other restaurants I work in. It's an open kitchen. Fires are everywhere, and the restaurant's really small. If you've ever been to the restaurant, so it's hard to get everybody in all at once. But so
that
far,
explains why.
Our colleagues this morning were discussing Burnt Ends because one of them was raving about the food, and the other one said, she found it a little bit crammed. Is that because of how much space the ovens
the kind of setup that Burnt Ends does is like a Japanese counter seatings, and everybody sit alongside the counter facing where the chefs are cooking. Yeah, so it's kind of... It's good. It's good.
But you have different. It's not just counter seating, I believe. I saw that you have a chef's table as well. Tell us more about that.
So the chef's table is the only table in the restaurant. So it fits maximum 8 people nicely, all facing each other instead of facing in a line, and conversations are better on that table. Yeah, and the chef's table that we do has we do have a minimum spend on the table. Yeah, just to and a regular set menu on the table as well.
And you need a minimum number of people as well.
No.
Oh, okay.
As long as you hit up the minimum spend, everything's fine.
So as the restaurant manager, is it your job to come up with these ideas on how to seat people, how to make sure that everyone's comfortable?
Yeah, so we do have a really great hosting team to actually sort seatings and arrange seatings. But of course, it's my duty to oversee that everyone gets what they want and get in on time and to push through the list.
So what do you have to oversee as a manager of this restaurant?
Basically, operations. Mostly operations. I'm more on the ops side, and definitely our guest satisfaction. That's number one in my list, and consistency of the food that goes out of the pass.
Maybe when you talk about operations, can you elaborate?
Yeah, operations meaning the steps of service that we do, the standard operation procedures that we place in. Everything has to be neat. Everything has to be in order for every single table, every single guest in the restaurant.
Yeah, because it's Michelin star as well.
Yes.
So what are the particular things that you have to abide by or standard rules?
Well, just put on a smile, do what we do best. That's what we always do. Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, you said you joined in 2016, and that was before Burnt Ends got its Michelin star.
Yeah.
So since then, have you felt extra pressure to meet the standards of what's demanded of restaurants which have the star?
Honestly speaking, I didn't get much pressure because even before Chef Dave got awarded his star, we were already in that kind of volume. We were really doing that kind of capacity. So it didn't really change as much on my side. Pressure, minimum pressure maybe to maintain standards and consistency. That will be probably the only thing.
You said it's also your job to ensure the consistency of the food. How do you do that?
Well, every single food that comes out of the past and every single salt, spice that goes on any dish is all being meticulously calculated and being set by the chefs. So for me, I'll just see the setting of if everything is in order, everything has the correct taste, and everything's plates as what we do every day. So, yep.
Yeah, you mentioned that the restaurant is an open concept and there's grilling. There's, how's the heat and the smell and things, at the restaurant?
Well, on the guest perspective, you'll probably smell a lot of smokes. It's like going to a barbecue, right? Yeah. If you're in the kitchen, you're gonna be sweating, definitely. So you are standing beside a 900-degree oven, and you're standing in front of grills and coals. So it's like open fire. So as the moment you step in the kitchen, you can feel a different bump up in heat.
It's an open kitchen, right?
Yeah.
So do the diners and staff also feel the heat as they eat?
The diners will not be as much because we have numerous air cons in full blast powering the
Greater use
visitor
of
side, yeah.
energy and electricity as well.
Yeah, yes.
We are speaking with Lyon Leong, and he is the restaurant manager of Burnt Ends, a modern Australian-style barbecue restaurant with an open-concept kitchen, and it boasts an array of heavy-duty wood-fired ovens and grills where food can be smoked, roasted, or cooked directly on coals at up to temperatures of 700 degrees Celsius. And he's telling us about what it takes to be the restaurant manager of a one Michelin-starred establishment like Burnt Ends. Now, Burnt Ends has this unique reservation system. Was this your idea?
The reservation system started out when the previous restaurant manager, which is now my general manager, Thomas Cole, he set that up. And because of the challenges we faced during the start, everything has to come at one time.
When you say challenges, what do you mean?
Yeah, so we only take reservations for 6 or 6:30. These two timings on every day, and people can either come in at 6 or 6:30. So, and the rest of the night we don't take any more reservations. It's all a walk-in wait list. Yeah, because it's hard to gauge what time people leave, and it's hard to, like, let's say a party of 5 comes down. 5, it's hard to get five of them out, right, in one time. So it's just the challenges that we face there.
I'm thinking about your limited space and the quality food that you offer. How's your price point like?
We are averaging. We cater for everybody. In my perspective, there can be like food. People come in for a $20 burger. There can be people coming in for the tasting menu, which goes up to $250. So a very wide diverse price point that we have. On average, price point spend is probably about $150 per head. Yeah.
Well, we've been talking about Burnt Ends and the things that happen at this one Michelin-starred restaurant, but you yourself have received an award. You're the recipient of Meiko Restaurant Manager of the Year at the World Gourmet Awards. So how did it feel to achieve this?
I felt really, really happy and really thankful to all my friends and my guests who actually threw me a vote. And I was a little surprised as well as I was competing with one of the top few restaurant managers in the world, like Simone from Jan. Yeah, but pretty good, pretty excited.
Now, you visited the single-table restaurant Ultraviolet in Shanghai on an overseas attachment after being the recipient of the Meiko Restaurant Manager of the Year at the World Gourmet Awards. Did you choose to go there, or were you deployed there?
I chose to go there as my number 2 choice in my list.
What was your number 1 choice?
Was then in Tokyo.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. So what was Ultraviolet like? Because I've never heard of it, actually.
Well, Ultraviolet is not an everyday restaurant you see in Orchard Road. It's more like a restaurant comprised of lighting, music, scent, like going into a theater. Like, yeah.
And it's a single table restaurant. Does that really mean it's just for what, one table?
It's a single long table which fits 10 people. So they do 10 covers a night. Yeah.
And what kinds of food do they serve there?
There's a lot like twists and stuff, like mostly I would say like French cuisine. Chef Paul Perez from French. Yeah, there's a lot of cuisine, a lot of stuff they do there is a good mix of everything.
Lots of fusion stuff as well.
They do, yeah.
So, any reason why it was your second choice? I mean, why did you want to go there? Are there similarities with Burnt Ends?
It's just one of my bucket lists that I have to visit this 3 Michelin star restaurant in my life. So yeah, and
having had all these experiences, are you able to be put in what you see sometimes to implement it in restaurants, the restaurant here?
There are certain aspects that I can, but Ultraviolet is a restaurant that it's hard to duplicate. So it's hard to kind of put certain of their stuff into my working restaurant. But there are some aspects of the stuff that I learned from their managers over there that I can actually put them into use.
For example,
they have strict routine maintenance of equipment, very strict, super strict, and they are super fine on detail. That was something that I wanted to bring into the culture into Burnt Ends when I came back.
Discipline that's required.
Exactly.
Well, after talking about the oven at Burnt Ends, we can't let you go without finding out what are some of the top eats at Burnt Ends. What are your recommendations?
So there are a couple of signature dishes from day one to now, like our smoked quail egg caviar, the grissini and terra masalata. I'm not sure if you understand that.
You can tell us more about what they are.
Beef marmalade and definitely our signature pulled pork burger. And we are pretty famous for our Norwegian crab legs with garlic brown butter. Yeah.
Are these available all year round, or are some of them seasonal?
These are available all year round. These are signature dishes that names who we are. And of course, we also cater the experience of the chef select. It's like a tasting menu to portray the experience of what we really do here and how we really want to showcase certain items to our guests.
I was just thinking, this is a very Singaporean thing. If you tell people you work at Burnt Ends, do you get asked a lot about the name?
50-50. Right now, there's a lot of Singaporeans, a lot of people in Singapore who are not exposed to a lot of restaurants actually. So there are people who ask me, who say where I'm working at Burnt Ends. Oh, where's that? Say, oh, you find out in Keong Saik Road and you see. And then some people will say, oh, I know that place. I say, okay, can you get me in? Can you get me in?
Yeah, no, because when I first saw the name at Burnt Ends, the first thing that came to my mind was Chao Ta. Did you get that?
That is basically one of our concept. Everything on grills with charred Pittsburgh. Yeah, so yeah.
Okay, well, I would love to try some of the dishes that you mentioned, but looking at the reservations list, we've got to wait till maybe June or something. What is the best way to get a seat without asking you for a favor?
Well, the best way actually is to do it the old-fashioned method. Do a walk-in, come down at 6 p.m. to join the waiting list for a later timing, and we will let you know the waiting time.
Roughly how long on average do people wait?
On an average, people wait for 2.5 hours.
What?
Yeah.
And do you have to turn people away?
No, we don't. That is one thing that we don't do. We try our best not to turn people away. We get them we try to maximize the wait list. We do up to 3 sittings a night. Yeah. And then we don't chase our customers in-house away as well.
And while customers have to wait for that long to get in, do you do anything?
Manicure.
Yeah.
We're not like the Chinese restaurant who do manicure. We do offer them good spots around, like heating up the bar and going up. There's a bar on top of our restaurant, but it's not together with us, but it's a good place for them to actually go and wait, or we can grab them some drinks from our side. Yeah.
And I guess you would have a cut-off time for the walk-ins, right? Otherwise, you'd be cooking all night, I guess.
Well, if the fire is burning, traffic is coming, we will continue to take.
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think the periphery businesses will also thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences, Leon,
Yeah.
and congratulations on that award that you've won. We've been speaking with Lyon Leong. He's the restaurant manager of Burnt Ends. And if you're interested to join the queue, if you don't want to put your name on that reservation list, you can head to 20 Teck Lim Road. It's in Chinatown within the Outram area. Thanks so much, Leon.
Thank you.